Like,
Yeah.
I think the other problem is that if Harry had taken his hand and then turned around and befriended Hermione and Ron, Draco would have taken that as an even bigger slap in the face, because the reason Draco offered his hand is to tell him, you are friends with the wrong kind of people. I can help you be friends with the right kind of people.
Yeah.
So the minute Harry befriended Ron, you would have had issues. And then when they brought Hermione in after the troll, Draco would have been like, he's trash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think anything would have trained. Like, here's the thing. People who only watch the movies see cute little Tom Felton and want to find ways to make Draco nicer, sweeter, forgivable, able to change, blah, blah, blah. The character that was written was an asshole.
Yeah.
And was never going to be anything else. Even 19 years later, still not a cordial human.
Yeah, I think the only point I've ever felt bad for Draco is like portions of book 6 where you're just like, this kid has just been given literally has been given a test with the expectation he is going to fail and die. Like, that is the only time I think in the books you even feel a slither of guilt or sympathy towards him. Yep, no, that was intentional.
I liked it. Well, you know what, Sam, go ahead and say what you were going to say.
I don't remember. Oh, I do remember. It's a total side note, but we were talking about Sassy Harry. I honestly forget if this is in the books, and we try to be focused on the books. But someone on TikTok pointed out in the movies that in the 19 years later, Harry, the animal that Harry gets for his son is a ferret. Just kind of,
it's not
twist that knife a little bit.
It is my favorite addition to the movie.
Okay, I thought it was an addition, but I'm a fan. It was
okay. So you know how I like to stir pots. All right, pot stirring has begun. War is over.
War is over.
Wow.
You're okay. You're okay. So the war is over. They've all gone their separate ways. Harry's gone off to our school. Hermione's gone back to school. Draco goes to Durmstrang to get his final education because he's not facing everybody at Hogwarts. We are now at 2 years past war, right? 2 years past war. We're walking down Diagon Alley. It's late. People are not, it's not really busy. And out of the 3 broomsticks comes Harry, just as Draco comes out of Gringotts. And they're the only 2 standing in front of each other. What happens?
I think that Harry at the most gives him what I always refer to as the nod of recognition and then just keeps moving.
The bro nod.
Yeah, just a little quick nod and just keeps moving. There is nothing that they want to say. And and I'm sure Draco doesn't want to catch up either. And it's just enough that you don't like get on Facebook and get someone commenting being like, "What, you didn't see me?" or whatever.
2 years is awfully close. I think if we put it at like 5 years, it may be a sort of recognition moment like Harry has with Dudley at the beginning of the 7th book, of just the like, there you are, here I am.
All right, cool. I'm going to answer your question with a question.
Did Draco go to jail or between that, or
no? That isn't the question. The question is, at any time do you think Draco thanked Harry for saving his life in the Room of Requirement? Because if he at least says thank you, then it may be more than a nod. It may even be a sup. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there may be a room for an interaction, as opposed to if Draco never says thank you, then it's definitely, I think a nod is nice. I think Harry nods and Draco looks straight ahead and pretends he doesn't see him.
Now, Remind me though, in the 19 years later, how do they acknowledge each other? Because they do see each other. Is it just like a nod towards each other?
There's a nod.
It's a nod, but that's 19 years later. But here's my thing, and that's why this question comes to mind. We don't know what happened.
Yeah. After
that war, I have come up with a headcanon. That Draco spends time in Azkaban. Not a long time because he was a minor, but he spends like a year, 18 months. Because I know she said Lucius gets out of it, but I feel like the wizarding world felt they had to punish a Malfoy. So they used Draco. So in my head, he did go to some punishment. So when we're talking 2-3 years later, when they see each other for the first time, the question becomes, do you think in that scenario, he wrote and his thank you for saving my life from Azkaban or from home arrest or wherever. And then, yes, when they meet, it's a sup.
All right, I'm going to be, I live most of my life as an eternal optimist and that people can change and all of that good stuff. I think that I genuinely think the point where Draco changes his opinion of Harry Potter might literally be when he has a child of his own. And that he can have enough realization because I mean, I don't have any kids, but from everyone I know who's had kids, it is like this life-changing thing and you will do anything to protect that child. And I wonder if there's a part of Draco's mind who thinks, man, that kid that I bullied never got to spend a second with his parents and starts to think about the way he treated Harry throughout all of high school and just feels like legitimate guilt about his actions as a child. And that is what gets him to the head knot point, at least.
I am an optimist from way back, Matt.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I think having a child would change him for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would change him enough to matter. I think he just became a softer asshole.
Like the needle a little bit.
Like the needle went. Like that was it.
I like to think that there was one night that they don't talk about, not like that, where they just go get a drink at not the Three Broomsticks. And Draco says, thank you for saving my life. I think it's after his son, whose name again is Scorpius, is bullied. I think he's bullied at school. And that's what finally is like, okay, I should at least say thank you. Okay. And Harry being Harry.
Here's what I'll give you, They both get called to the school because the bullying turned into a fight. Parents get called in. After the meeting, because McGonagall ain't taking no shit, y'all two need to fix yourselves so your sons can fix themselves. I think then I could see them being forced to go for a drink to talk it out. I think even if Scorpius is bullied, Draco's going to be like, it's okay, son. Just stiff up her lip. You're better than them. They're just jealous of you. Like, I don't think he would see the reason his son is bullied is because of him.
Yeah. Does therapy exist in the wizarding world?
No.
No. And it comes up on this podcast.
I feel like so many of these characters' problems would be fixed with just a couple sessions with a wizard therapist.
That leads me into where I was going to go.
Yeah.
And that leads me into where I was going to go. I do not think you're fine. Just becoming a father is enough. Mm-hmm. I think becoming a father, loving your child, and having Astoria point out to him, remember how you feel about your child because ... Like, I think Astoria had to lay out the idea that bullying's bad. And that perhaps, especially as she finds out she's dying, our son is going to be motherless. credit laying. Imagine what it was like when Harry was motherless and fatherless. Like, I think Astoria had to lay it out for him like a therapist would before Draco got it.
Well, because
now I will say that if Scorpina had been born instead of Scorpius, I think he would have come to some realizations a lot faster. Because I do think, stop laughing at my name, Scorpina.
Scorpina?
I'm going to remind the two of you that people can see us. Because normally you laugh at me and no one can see it. They can see
you. I'm laughing that wizards can't name children.
But yes, I think if he had been a father of a daughter, he would have changed and changed faster, and the needle would have gone, whew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, especially when, he's raising a son by himself now because his wife dies. There has to be a moment where he realizes that two of the people he bullied the most were basically orphans and have like some element of self-reflection on that. Because it's like he's probably looking at how hard he's going through it because his wife has died. He's seeing his son going through it because his mother died, and then realizing, man, I treated Harry and Neville like trash for their entire life.
Right? Okay, so let's fast forward because you said 2 years wasn't enough. It's now 19 years later.
Okay.
Astoria is gone. Ginny's fine. But after dropping off their kids, they're now out at the grocery store and they run into each other. Now the conversation, do you think, changes? And yes, there's a wizarding grocery store. Leave me alone. I'm sticking with it.
I mean,
no. I'm sure that there is. I want to believe that one of them is trying to make something. Well, they bump into each other. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm just thinking of, there's that whole, it's a very clunky part in the last book, but when Harry's explaining how he knew some great Slytherins and he's like really tearing down the walls of like this Gryffindor versus Slytherin thing. That to me shows Harry having some element of growth where maybe I think that it's possible that if there was ever a conversation that Harry may have been the person to start that conversation more than Draco.
Oh yeah. I think 19 years later with a son who has now flown the coop, no wife to go home to, Draco is now open to having a conversation.
Yeah, he wants to talk to anybody. He's that person who has like a 5-minute conversation at the checkout counter with whoever.
Oh my god, I hate that person, but that does make me feel kind of bad for him.
I'm going to upset everybody. Do you think in any way, shape, or form, Harry and Draco could have, assuming that they are attracted to people of the same gender, could have been lovers?
She just wants this fan fiction world.
Well, no, but I had a reason.
Go ahead.
Sure.
You're going with sure. Mel?
No.
Matt?
They weren't each other's type.
No. I said sure to you have your reason.
Yeah, you
I
have your reason.
I didn't say sure to they could be. I present your argument first.
Yes.
The only way I could see it happening is in one of my favorite sitcom tropes, which is of course the classic "I hate you, I love you" moment, where like two people are fighting and then suddenly they're kissing out of nowhere. That is like the one time, but then it's kind of a like we never speak of this again. Like it's like,
so
or they're having their drink and Draco goes, "Should we kiss?" And Harry goes, "What?" And Draco says, "What?" And then they just keep going.
I would definitely say that I would find it easier to believe that Draco had a crush on Harry than Harry having a crush on Draco. Just because the way like Draco is very hurt by Harry's rejection of not wanting to be his friend in a way that isn't just like that could be read as some form of a crush.
In a way that 26 years later, he's like, all right.
But TC, you're asking this for a specific reason. What might that reason be?
Well, I was going to say, if you don't think they could ever be lovers, what do you think about maybe being